Well, I was browsing around through the stuff. I bought a whole mess of odds and ends at that tag sale a month or so ago, and I've got some really cool antique looking, and they're old, rusty, and beautiful. These are coat hooks. I found two of them. Two matching coat hooks, which are really old and nice. I'm going to put them on here and finally have this finished. I was hoping to have more than two, but I think I will be happy with that because it just looks good. It just looks really good. So I've got 22 inches. Whoops. I want to center them. If I put one, let me see. Okay, I got to do some math and some thinking here. I've got to divide this into thirds. Alright, gonna do the math and figure this out. Don't want to stress myself on camera. So I'm gonna go, I've decided to go with 7 and 15. This is awkward. Alright. How about I just go in 7 inches from each side, because this tape is not going to agree with me. So there and there is how it's going to be. Alright, now I want to have a spacer, so when I screw them on there, they're the same height up. Let me see, there's more right there. I want a dead center on that. I want to space that evenly. Let's see, no. Alright, I'm going to look for something to space it, just something that's going to make this easy so I can just hold it on there and start putting that way I get the same space in both. So I'm going to look for something that'll fit in there nicely. Alright, I just decided to go with the pencil that I've got right here in my hand. I've got to get this adjusted to where I want it. Right and left, dead center there. Bring it down flush with a pencil. Make sure it's looking level. Wish I could see your view. Let me see if I can see your view. Doesn't show me that much. I think what I'm going to do, I'll get one screw in, and level it. That LED is bright in my eyes. Now, I can try to level that nicer. Just a little bit tighter. Yeah, looks good. There's one coat hook. The real deal. Can't get more authentic than that, huh? There we go. It doesn't get more authentic than that. Old-fashioned coat hook with old-fashioned barn wood. Pretty cool. Now, make sure I kept my measurement. Yeah, that looks good. I did it alright. It's right there. Make sure I get this straight. I figure measuring I could always go wrong, and because it's a weird curvy looking thing, I figured with measurements I could always mess up. And with using an object, you're sure to get your spacing. That's just my thinking just now. Step back and look at it. Looks straight. Need some more light on the subject. Oh, got some light on there, huh? Okay, yeah. I was thinking the first one looked crooked. No, they both look alright. Looks alright. Good. Put it in there. There it is. Got my coat hook, coat rack. Cool. Antique barnwood, reclaimed lumber, and some antique rustic coat hooks. I like it. Let me shut this off, get it off my coat. I had it on my coats that were on the chair. So now I actually have enough for four coats. It's cool. Now I can keep my coats on there. I've got room for guests. I've got room for my sweatshirt. The off-grid project sweatshirt. There. No more coats and junk hanging around. Hats can hang on there. Underneath the coat. Put my hat. There. Happiness. Done. There. Whoever said I never finished a project? There's one. I like it. I gotta make it neater. Everything was crammed up. Everything's been flopped on chairs. Everything's just been hanging around all this time. It's good to have order in a tiny house on wheels now, finally. We got the hats and the gloves, the scarves. Look at that. All good. Happiness. Looking good. Well, I'm reorganizing the tiny house on wheels. Still got some cleaning to do because now the table is a junked up mess. What I've done is taken the antique treadle powered Singer sewing machine, put it over here on the back wall of the tiny house, and I took I have a little antique table that I had, and I put that there by the doorway. So now what you have is a very much more open looking room. Here's my actually it's baby Cat's favorite chair right there. That's where she spends a lot of time. And then there's the coat and glove rack, which I'm really liking now. It looks good and holds all my coats and sweatshirts. And then there I can just, when I come in, I can drop my keys or wallet or whatever I happen to have in my hands when I walk in the door. It's gonna be like a catch-all little table there. And having that gone opens up the floor of the tiny house in a huge way. So then we come around and we've got the table over in the corner, and then we've got the antique sewing machine, and over here the wood stove and the wood and the implements, which I can even condense that further. I'm going to put the tools up behind the wood stove a little ways and then slide the wood over some more. And my shoes are indoors only right now on a box because it's raining out, and the box is like a dirt and mud catcher. So we have a much better looking tiny house, much more open floor plan here. Just moving that sewing machine made a tremendous improvement and really opened up the room. Really looks good. Of course, baby Cat's toys are all under the table. And the lamp, I'm still looking for light bulbs for that lamp. I should just hang it and then find the bulbs later and put them in and be done with it. But I like it now. It's so much more open. Gotta run some wires through the house. I'm gonna go up through here and then hide the wire along through the corner and then hide it across a piece of trim work over to the shelf, and in here I'm gonna have a power distribution block for AC and DC power. So right now I just have to get a hole up in there. Hoping to make that a little bit neater than it went. So I'm going to sweep that up. So I think I'm going to have to drill through here as well. Over and through. I'm going to have to drill another hole to make this work right. I don't know if there's enough meat on that. Probably isn't going to work. I'll figure that out later. Right now, I'm gonna separate these ends. I've got two outlets. I've got a double cigarette lighter and then a single with two USB ports that I want to hook up on here. And then up top I'm going to have to put a fuse breaker or a fuse plug. Actually, I want to put one down here. I got to see if I have a double fuse block. Now I've got 4 strands, 4 12-gauge wires in this big thick wire, which is convenient. That means I'll have 2 12-gauge wires for each of my cigarette lighter outlets. That's good. So it gives each of the 2 cigarette lighter plugs their maximum current capacity because they're not sharing a line with one another. Alright, I'm just gonna twist up these ends on here. You don't have to watch me do that. I'm gonna put together the 2 cigarette lighter sockets to the 2 sets of wires up there. So I'm soldering the connections to ensure a good, safe union here of the wires. Now what I have is, of these 4 wires, I've got red is positive and black is negative, and then I use the other 2 strands and white is positive and green is negative. That way I remember when I go upstairs. This is a pattern I use when I'm doing 4-stranded wires on DC. That's how I use my colors. I don't know how you guys all do it. I know RV codes are all over the board. I've seen everything in RVs and campers. It's crazy. So I've got this soldering iron hooked up to AC through an extension cord to my big inverter. I got the little Harbor Freight generator running. You may hear it in the background outdoors. And that's running a battery charger, a manual battery charger, pumping 10 amps into the old forklift batteries for now, while I work indoors with lights and soldering. I'm even using my new LED desk lamp, by the way. Lighten up the work area here. Okay, there's that. Now I can shut that off. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taping off the ends now for safety. I'm going to finish taping those two, and I'll be back with the camera in a minute. Now this is temporary, so it doesn't have to be real pretty. You can see the shelf needs some reinforcing, and that's why this is temporary, because the reinforcement's coming pretty soon, hopefully. I had to go out and get some wood and cut it and close this end off, and then I start putting some books up here for real. I can't believe how weak that top shelf has become. But it's not done. I'll get to it. It's awkward in winter working with the wood because everything's so wet and covered in snow and ice, and all my wood is outdoors. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying not to tighten this down too tight. When you're dealing with plastic, you can split it actually, and that's not a good thing to have. When you split the mounting tabs. Alright, there's that. Now this needs to go up, and then I'll go upstairs and I'm going to tie it into the main wire. I've got to leave enough extra cable here for this to go across, down and over by the wall and hide it pretty. That should be good right there. And get that to stay. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to go upstairs and tie that in. I'll cut it off and tie it in, and we'll come back down here and see if we've got power. Well, that's certainly a good sign. There's a pretty blue LED. I've got power. I've got DC power in a tiny house on wheels. Finally. So, it's getting late. Time to sign off for tonight. But I've got that. And then next time, I'll come over and I'll do the other side. I want to have the same thing, and I also want to have AC power. I'll have 2 AC sockets, 3 DCs, and 2 USB sockets on each side. Let me take you over here and show you. I am loving this new LED light on my camera. So there we have everything neatly set up here. These are both from Walmart, both from the same manufacturer, everything the same. The only thing difference is this has 2 USB ports. They should have made it look the same. It would be universal. I guess they don't expect people to use them all in the same place at the same time. But there it is. Now you start charging stuff over here on this side instead of everything in the kitchen, finally. And stop running extension cords through the house so I can charge my computer on AC. Now I've got DC power over here. It's good. Well, good night, everybody.